Ugh. Alright, that was unfortunate. I stream off my PS4. Wait, am I muted? No. And I use an external hard drive. So it's kind of finicky. So it must have shifted itself slightly because it's like right next to my PS4. And counted itself as disconnecting, which shut everything off, which is incredibly unfortunate. So let's hope it doesn't happen any more times today. Now then. Continuing with the story. Ah, my nose.
Right, we're all set. Just the 4 of you, was it?
3. I'm already attuned to the crystal in Thavnair.
You are? Oh. I would have preferred more test subjects. Oh, well, never mind. If our 3 travelers could line up here, please? Yes, right there is fine. Take a deep breath, and I'll soon have you soaring through the ether. Oh, and one last thing. You might experience a teensy-weensy touch of violent ethereal sickness. Good luck!
What?
Sorry, it's bothering me so much that everything's going great, and then my external hard drive's like, I'm disconnected. I'm like, no, you're not. And I'm in no mood to restart everything.
Thavnair, home to city-state Rads at Han. Rising from the southeast waters of the Bounty, this Isle of Plenty served as the battleground for a conflict between 2 peoples. Their cultures bled into one another until a unique amalgamation was distilled from the chaos, in a process not unlike their precious alchemy. Once solidified as a single nation, an adamant stance of neutrality would hold invaders at bay. For a time.
Huh.
Now across this vibrant isle creeps a fog of malice. What choice do you have? What chance? Against such an insidious foe.
I like how it's daytime and it's gonna immediately shift into the nighttime. Orianche.
I've seen fairer faces after a bout of bad shellfish. Let me bring you something to drink. That should help settle your bellies.
There was a note with Kriles' instructions.
What note?
Don't let a Fandaniel roam the markets alone. He's alarmingly bad with coin.
Oh no. Come on, Ren, you can do this. You're a proud Garlean. We will not have another katana incident. You managed to will yourself to your feet, but given your condition, will you be able to reach a Fandaniel in time? And it's nighttime. Don't I get like a stat? I guess I don't. Fandaniel, no! Whatever deal he's offering, it's a scam. Steady and stop. You there, I need 3 drinks, something that helps with the sickness. By the Matsya, a traveler. I mean greetings and welcome. You are wise, good sir, to come to me. My special amara lassi, made with only the finest and precious ingredients, is famed for calming unruly bellies. By the way, you're born welcome to Thavnair. I am pleased to offer it to you for the low price of 19,800 gil. For not 1, not 2, but 3 bottles. Alright, dude, Chocoble's in the way. A bargain amongst bargains. This price is high road robbery, and you want to say as much to a Fandaniel, but you realize your words of warning you cry out would be accompanied by your last meal. You must stand before a Fandaniel using gestures and deny that the deal is fair. Ugh. Where is it? Where's deny? Fandaniel, no, this is no good. I know you can barely stand. What you need to tell me is so urgent. Wait, I shouldn't buy the lassie. This merchant is swindling me. This is serious apology, sir. I appear to have my prices confused. It is actually 1,890 gil for the 3 bottles of lassie. The confusion would have been quite costly for both of us. Oh well then, your coin. Yeah, bottle for each of you. Take them to the others and get some rest. I'll be back after I explore the town. Cool. Don't buy anything. Alright, gotta get back to the others. Speed is key. Oh, I thought it would make me like go blah again. Here you go. Praise be to the 12. My stomach doth loosen its death grip. My heartfelt thanks to thee, Anastinian, and to the fine fruits of this land. You, in time? Excellent. You spared us the Taru's wrath. Sweet release. If you haven't already, you should have yours too. Right, I'm ready to get on with it. And let's see truly what won this. Back on your feet, I see. Thy hair. I bound it. There's most I could do against the heat short of shedding my armor. I'm gonna try and go less gruff with the Stinian. May I ask where you got the cord for it? Local vendor. The man said the Thavnairian weave, tough and not easily unraveled. And how much did it cost? 9,400 gil. 9,400 gil? A steal, I was told. That is nothing fancy. I've always valued function over form. That's incredible. I dare say not even Alphino could hold a candle to you. Alphino bought a katana for an untold amount. That pissed Tataru off severely. I think Astinian is not doing that worse. I expected the Azure Dragoon to put up more of a fight. I mean, it's not uncommon for merchants to set their prices high, but doesn't this seem a bit excessive here, guys? I'm inclined to agree with thine assessment. It doth seem excessive. Unusually so. Claiming Thavnair as its dominion, the nation of Rods at Han hath long thrived as a hub of commerce. Hey. Hush. In the beginning, there were the Arcasadora, the Matanga tribe indigenous to this island. Over time, they came to be joined by other races, and through their intermingling, a culture rich and distinct did emerge. From alchemy to textiles, the products of Hanish culture have come to be celebrated and coveted the world over. A development only aided by the nation's prime location as a waypoint betwixt east and west. All of this hath combined to make a trading power of Radzat Han, yet such a status cannot be taken for granted. Nay, must needs be maintained through judicious governance and stringent regulation. Neither of which I see any evidence, given the merchants at a gateway town are free to fleece hapless travelers and tarnish the reputation of a nation at large. Just so. The opportunistic pricing is rampant, doth suggest that oversight is much weakened, or mayhap the people have fallen on hard times. Whatever the truth may be, it would be prudent to ascertain the current state of affairs. Prudent and practical eye, we've not to lose by learning more. So ere we seek out Kriles' acquaintance, shall we see what information we can gather in Yeldimad? Excellent. We didn't exactly get off to a flying start, but we'll make up for it. Right. Let us split up and make inquiries in town. Naren, the pier is yours. Once we learn what we can, we regroup by the 8th, right? Off-putting the mere sight of it may be. I guess this Banui is also doing it, doing story. It's a crate of fruit. The crate is laden with fruits, but they're on the verge of spoiling, as if they've been left too long. Gazing out from the pier, you spy boats moored in nearby isles, with silhouettes of larger seafaring vessels far away. Compared to the other ports you visited in the past, there appears to be very little activity. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, recording my sales. Still do it daily out of habit, though. I don't know why I bother. Hardly sell anything these days. Business has never been this terrible, but I suppose things could be worse. I could have the consortium to keep afloat like Khazal. I don't envy his position. Better to be alone with my operation. I've come to realize. You're a traveler by the looks of it. If you have a moment, perhaps you could pay Khazal a visit. He'd be glad for the tidings abroad. Like as not, you'll find him in Staltwind Sails, the Harper Gale building across the water from here. Well now, if it isn't a traveller, you're a rare sight in these unsettled times. You have been giving us a wide berth since the accursed tower suddenly appeared now in there. If it just stood there and loomed ominously, perhaps things would have been fine after a fashion, but no, it had to spawn for the fiends as well. So our lives thanks to the radiant host, but business is as good as dead. What will become of us, only gods know. Oh, I misread the map. The Damascus aren't coming? We already have everything they ordered. What are we supposed to do with it? No, but yelling at me isn't going to help. All I know is that their plans have changed, and that's that. Look, you must have known this might happen. The Empire is at war with itself, and the provinces are in chaos. And then there's the tower sitting at our doorstep spitting out monstrosities. The city has its defenses, but we were afforded no protection out here. I can't blame foreigners for not wanting to take the risk. Gah! But this will be an enormous loss. Alright. Forget about the Damascus. Surely some ships are still coming. We have fresh produce, handicrafts, medicines, all to put our ending on Hannah's favorites. Our consortium works closely with merchants and artisans to supply only the finest wares. Quality is guaranteed. I know all these things, Khazal, I do. Which is why I regret to say I have nothing for you. All voyages have been cancelled or indefinitely postponed. And you are? Wait, you're a foreigner, are you not? A merchant? Oh, please tell me you're a merchant. Sadly, I am not a merchant. I see. That's a shame. I'm sorry, but we're discussing important matters. If you need something, please talk to one of the others. Oh, God, excuse me. My name is Matsya. I'm here to see Khazal. Oh, It seems he's busy. I'll come back later then. Ah, the sun is rising. Where's Matsya? There he is. Yes, can I help you? Ah, I remember seeing you back in the guild. You wanted to speak with Katsal too, did you? I am Matsya, a fisherman of Akyali, a nearby village. I sell my catch to Katsal, who offers it to foreign merchants, but he hasn't bought anything for a while now. When I heard that the consortium had been struggling, I became worried and decided to come see him. Just as soon as he's free, anyway. He's a hard-working man, and I dare not disturb him. Fine, may I ask, what is it that you do? Oh, I'm an adventurer, I travel around, I explore things. An adventurer, you say? But you travel the world helping people. Then that must mean you're great at dealing with strangers. Please, won't you teach me to be like you? You see, I brought some fresh fish with me, the portion I couldn't preserve, and wanted to sell them. The problem is I'm terrible with people. I've only ever dealt with Katsal, and I can't talk to customers without getting my trunk in a twist. So please, as silly as it might sound, will you not peddle the fish in my stead? Show me how it's done? If you're willing, please, let me know. We can begin at once. Let's follow cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any pending duty final registrations. You'll do it then. Show me how to deal with customers. I'm in your debt. Alright, please try peddling my fish to, shall we say, 3 people here in Yedliman. I will observe you and learn. Matsya is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to pursue the quest objectives. You can leave Matsya behind, blah 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 blah. I immediately slipped and fell in the water. He is... I didn't know he could swim. I didn't know they made a swimming animation for him. That's awesome. Alright, I'm stuck. What if I swim fast? Nope, he just doggy paddles away. Excuse me, good sir. Yes. Greetings, friend. How fare you late? Greetings to you too. I suppose I'm well enough given these circumstances. Things have settled down somewhat, but it was utter chaos when that tower first appeared. Everyone grabbing whatever they could, trampling over each other to get to the city. Many would remain here for now, but I could not stay away. I had to come back, continue my life, such as it is. Whether or not it was the right choice, only time will tell. I am not failing this, so I will admit I am looking at a freaking guide to sell all these fish. Okay. Oh, there's no place like home, but don't do anything dangerous, eh? Well, trust me, I don't. Make sure to keep well clear of the tower, and when more monsters emerge from it, I heed the Radiant's host instructions. I hope they deal with it soon, so I can get back to our normal lives. The days when I could earn as much as you can give, and tuck into a meal, satisfied that you did good work. Speaking of meals, why not have some fresh fish today? Fresh fish, you say? Oh, you're a fishmonger. Eh, well, when you bait me like that, how can I not bite? Very well, give me some of your fish. giving Matsya a thumbs up. Thank you for your custom. The catch of the day is the shell's cod. A delectable stewed in coconut milk or baked with a sprinkle of salt. Okay, let's get the next customer. Let's go, Matsya. I have the power of foresight and expertise on my mind. I will not sell one fish like the first time I did Endwalker. Oh, hawker are you? Do you sell fruit by chance? If so, I want to buy some aura. Let's say a dozen. They don't need to be of export quality. Aura shmarma, my fresh fish is the only thing you need. What do you need so many armor for? Why, for eating, of course. It may seem like a lot, but of late, I go through them in no time at all. I'm a stock taker by trade, but with no vessels coming in days, the wares are beginning to pile up. By the same token, nothing is coming in from overseas, but not a day goes by that somebody doesn't come asking when the next shipment is arriving for this and that and this and that. All of it wears me down, and I find myself feeling constantly hungry. Are you sure you're actually hungry? You know, when I think on it, I'm not so sure. Other than hungry, perhaps I'm feeling unfulfilled, and I try to fill the void by gorging on food I like. Do you like fish? Fish? I do like fish, as a matter of fact. Why did you ask? Oh, you're a fishmonger. Apologies for the misunderstanding. Seeing as you're here, do you happen to have any Garlean sardine? They're perfect for spicy soup. Do you? We certainly do, madam. And if you like spicy, I also recommend them in oil with a generous amount of chilies. Well, that does sound a wonderful challenge. I didn't have fish in mind at first, but I dare say I'll enjoy these. Thank you. Yes. 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 Cheating. Cheating to make sales. Yes. I tried to invest the second and third time, but really only the first person I could just make a sale to was just the first guy you run into. But not this, oh hi Rianche, but not this time. No, this time I make sales for everybody. What is it? If you don't mind, I'm rather busy. Oh god, it's my stomach. Ugh. Aether or sickness? No, nothing so unusual. I was already get back to work. I just ate a little too quickly. You know, man, you should You should, take it easier. Eat more slowly. Savor your food. Well, that I could, but I can't afford to be idle. Like it's not, circumstances will surely get worse before they get better. And so I'm working as hard as I can while I still can to be better prepared. How do you intend to prepare? By stockpiling supplies. For that, I need to earn coins so I can buy food, medicine, what have you. Yeah? Well, do you have anything suitable, Matsya? We do have dried products too. Thavnair cucumber and papaya fish. Papaya. They're the last of the batch, so if you're interested, you can have them for a discount. Truly? By all means, I'll take them all. Hooray, another sale made. You remembered what I told you earlier, that I preserve what I catch, which serves to show the importance of being attentive. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for your demonstration. It was truly an eye-opening experience. Come, let us return to the pier. I know if we fail all three, he's like, that was truly an eye-opening experience. I know exactly what not to do when making sales. Swim in Matsya. Thank you so much for showing me how to talk to customers. You managed to sell to everyone you approached. Any merchant in Han would be envious of your success. Watching your work was truly inspiring. By applying the lessons I've learned, I hope to one day peddle as well as you. Just pull up your phone, Matsya, and look at what to say. Still, there's only so much I can do alone. Hope that things will return to normal for Katzali soon. No, Katzal. I don't know why I thought that was an I for a sec. I thought I heard that familiar voice, and who should it be but Matsya? Karzal, have you finished with your business at the guild? So, you were there too. Forgive me. Try as I might, I can't find any buyers. With no ships coming in, hardly any going out, there simply aren't any options at this rate. So you can't buy fish anymore? I'm sorry, Matsya. I truly am. But for now, you must peddle for your own goods. But by myself, I can't. I want to help you, I do, but as it stands, I can barely help myself. I poured my all into the consortium, and I'll be damned if I let it fall apart. My friends and families depending on me, and I can't. I won't fail them. The sisters as my witness. That's all. Not to worry. Using what I've learned from you, I'm sure I'll manage. Somehow. Well, I had best return to my village. My thanks again, and please take care on the road. I see you've been busy. Managed to learn a tidbit or two, I trust. I learned how to peddle fish. I see. We also heard about the tower affecting many of the locals' livelihoods. But to think it would come to such an extent. For another notable, if not wholly unexpected discovery, disappearances and kidnappings are disturbingly commonplace. As before, the culprits are most certainly tempered Imperial soldiers. As before, they mean to use the faith of the hapless thralls to call forth Lunar Primal. Business as usual for the Telothroi. The Matsya fellow you were helping, he's an accursed, is he not? Apparently, it is almost exclusively his people are being kidnapped. Should he be traveling alone? If a summoning is this perpetrator's aim, it doth stand to reason that Alcazadora would be their primary targets. For all 'tis the faith of their ancestors which prevaileth in this land, and many are devout adherents still. Better go after him. Akiali lies to the west, as I recall, the same direction as Kriles' acquaintance, incidentally. It's settled then. Keep your eyes peeled while we make for the village. Since I don't have access to my chocobo or my yol, I can always count on good old Midgard somewhere to fly me location to location, which is right here. You don't see much nearby, but elevating around might provide a better vantage point. You did not see Matsya from here either. No, leave me alone, help! Somebody help! Matsya's voice came from the north. The north, that way. You leave this elephant man alone. Huh? Oh, where did they go? Why are you here? I see you found him in time. You okay? You and your friends came to look for me. I don't know how to thank you. On my way home, I took a moment to stop and rest. Thinking about what to do about, well, everything. And then those men came. Kidnappers. We heard the Alcazadora were being targeted. Surely you must. Surely you have as well. Perhaps it's best if you took refuge in the city. Oh, I've considered it, me and the others, but fishing is all we know. The ocean, all we have. I see. That's your decision to make, but you should take care not to travel alone. A question, if I may. It is our understanding that strange fiends have emerged from the tower. What canst thou tell us about these beings? Not much, I'm afraid. I have no idea what they are. But I've heard that some bear an unsettling resemblance to our divinities. For that reason, some have taken to calling the tower a resort. House of Divinities in the old tongue it means. But they are not true divinities, they are monstrous imitations that only bring death. To have one's face so twisted is a grievous indignity. It will justify art thou in thine outrage. No, that is for no other purpose but to neutralize the tower that we were journeying to this land. In time we may be forced to contend with these false gods, and thus we would learn all we can about them. Wilt thou now tell us about thy divinities and their true nature? You come all this way to save us. Really? I don't think I had you peddling fish. But to answer your question, yes, of course. We'd be glad to tell you about our gods. We, I say, because I am a terrible storyteller, and I'd ask my fellow villagers to do it. Please, come to our village. We're good, God-fearing folk. All of us, and we'd be honored to share our knowledge and fish. What sayest thou? Shall we pay a visit to Akyali? Wonderful. Just follow the road west and down the hill. You can't miss it. So, 'tis a simulacra of the Thavnarian gods that are being summoned. If any doubt existed before, there can be none now. The kidnapped Hanished are imprisoned in the tower. I pray that we will be able to save them. Though indeed saving them will mean confronting their false gods, like as not. As you said, we do well to study their religious traditions, to Akyali. Welcome to Akyali, my friends. The name means white beach. There is much here saved at, but please make yourself at home. Your companions have already been talking to everyone. Feel free to show yourself around and do the same. Any one of us can tell you about our gods, but you could do no worse than to start with Kanga and the old Haspedia. They're free at the moment, as it happens. You wish to know about our gods? What a curious visitor you are. Most want fish. In any case, I'm happy to oblige. Now, I don't know whence you hail, but our island is home to many gods. They can be divided into two groups. The Matsya, beings of wisdom who can assume the form of men, and the Murga, beings who might assume the form of beast. Together they are divinities. Porksy. Their forms and personalities many and varied. Some are kind and gentle, others stern and temperamental, just like we mortals can be. All are possessed of great insight and experience. By heeding their teachings, we strive to be better people and live better lives. Interested in learning about our gods, you say? That's what I'd like to hear. Prick up your ears then and listen. In ancient times, the Matsya and the Murga, deities who look like men and beasts respectively, were locked in combat. Eventually, seeking the wisdom of the Matsya, the Murga cast aside their own heads and took up those of their foes. Likewise, the Matsya coveted the might of the Murga, so they too resolved to trade heads. Thus were born new gods possessed of both might and wisdom. They ushered in an age of harmony between the two factions. From then on, as a sign of their esteem for one another, the Matsya have worn animal faces and the Murga the limbs of men. There you are. Learned a thing or two about our gods, I trust. While you were off talking to the others, I remembered something that might be of interest. If you could let your friends know, I'll go fetch it from my house at once. Apologies for the wait. I wish to show you this hanging scroll which depicts 3 of our most revered deities. By all means, we should like to see. They are Matsya. You heard about them already, yes? 3 sisters. The center is the eldest, Sinduruva, goddess of wisdom. For this, the Alchemists hold her in the highest regard. To her right is the middle sister, Sandaruva. As goddess of wealth, she counts many traders among her followers. And on the left is Minduruva, the youngest sibling. She provides over the crafts, and is so beloved by weavers. Yeah, Sandy, Cindy, and Mindy. Though each works for different reasons, the sisters are usually portrayed together in these works, which people keep in their homes for good fortune. In like fashion to the Matsya, the deities of Eorzea preside over myriad aspects of life. What of the Murga, I may ask? Sorry, just answering a message. The Murga hold power over nature. In ages past they were revered as Garlean deities in times of conflict. If you have the occasion to visit our temples and ruins, you'll find their images there. Among them is the god who possessed the gorgeous head, and is venerated as the progenitor of the accursed. And then there are the dragons. They occupy a special place in our history. You worship dragons too. It is said that the ancestor of the satrap, that is the ruler of Ratatan, forged a covenant with the dragon divinity in ancient times. This divinity has since acted as the guardian deity of the satrap. Legends hold that, if wherever the satrap in need, his dragon ally would fly to his aid. Dragon ally. You claim to be a terrible storyteller, but nothing could be further from the truth. The passion you bear for your faith is plain to hear. I'm confident that the information you've given us will serve well in our efforts to deal with the tower. It is very kind of you to say. Thank you. I pray for your success. Right. Right. I believe it's time we sought out Kriles' acquaintance, an alchemist by the name of Nidhana. According to Kriles' notes, we're to find her at the place called the Great Work, further north along the coast. Did you say you're going to see Nidhana? Oh, how I envy you. She's brilliant and beautiful, kind and understanding. And did I say she's beautiful? Oh, I could stare into her dainty ears and adorable trunk all day. Those eyes. When you meet her, take care not to drown in them. Oh wait, what am I gonna do? I'm just teleport there. Surely nothing bad has happened here. Oh.
What happened here?
Their dress marks them as alchemists. I see no evidence of injury or poison.
Thinkest thou they but slumber?
I believe so. Whether it is by choice is another question entirely.
Oh, we have guests. You must excuse the poor welcome. Long days and longer nights have taken their toll, as you can see. I am Vashan, servant to the satrap. My task was, in fact, to wake these good men and women, if you will allow. People of the great work, I come bearing new scales.
Scales?
Dramatic pause.
We have new scales?
Yes, my friends. Gather round. I have them right here.
Oh, happy day. Now I can continue my experiment.
Many thanks.
One for me.
Those are dragon scales.
Yes, such materials are vital to their most pressing research.
And we are fortunate to have them. Our experiments are so close to bearing fruit. Soon we will have a talisman capable of nullifying the etheric emissions from that accursed tower. Did I say something wrong? Are you not here with Varshan? Wait, who are you people?
We're with Kriles and students about that scene.
Of course! You're the one Kriles sent. The warrior of light we've been waiting for.
Ah, this is a day of celebration. Praise be to Cinderova!
The winds have shifted. I feel it. The end to our toil is near.
I feel it too. My head hasn't been this clear in days.
Tell me, how did you acquire those scales?
Curious that it concerns you so. But worry not. They were freely given by the dragon with whom our satrap has forged a lawful pact.
That is well.
You must be quite familiar with Dragonkin, yes?
Man just teleported in with his transmission.
Is this their congealed blood I see on your weapon?
Speaking of dragon blood, you yourself have been infused with it, have you not? I should like to draw a file or two, if so.
Now, see here.
Come along, come along. I must insist that you visit our laboratory.
Cease your shoving, or so help me.
We're gonna Jay offering a prayer.
Oh dear, your poor companion. What with the new scales and your timely arrival, my colleagues are a little giddy with excitement. No harm will come to him, I promise. Meanwhile, shall we find a quiet place to talk? As you may have guessed, I am Nidhana, the alchemist who sent the request to your mistress Kriles. We have workshops across the nation collaborating on this research project. But it is here, at the Great Work, where I collate our results. Come with me, all of you, and I can explain the crux of the situation.
Allow me to thank you for answering our call. Many towers have appeared around the world, and we are grateful that you will assist us with ours. Though Kriles herself is tied up with another investigation, Nier is an eminently capable substitute. We spare no effort to aid you. So, if I understand correctly, you seek to make talismans that can notify their commissions. Indeed, we do. As you know, the tower emits vast concentrations of ether. One cannot go anywhere near it without being tempered. As such, we can only study the tower from afar, and are powerless to deal with it in any consequential way. In order to strike back, the satrap Beta's alchemists created enchanted talismans that will allow our soldiers to venture into the tower, even should they lack innate protection. Could such a thing be possible? Admittedly, we are still in the midst of testing, but we are quite confident. Even prior to this, our people have long pursued countermeasures against the etheric corruption of Kriles. Of the methods tested to date, those utilizing dragon scales proved the most promising. Owing to their etheric density, the scales are highly resistant to disruptive forces. The mightier the dragon, the greater the resistance. We seek to amplify this property through our alchemy. Thanks to the scales provided by His Excellency, we have been able to make steady progress with the talisman. Soon we will be ready to conduct a field test, and here's where you and your Blessing of Light comes in. Better than having my blood drawn, I suppose. Whatever it is, just leave it to me. Thank you, lest you wonder. We only ask that you serve as an escort. I'll explain in greater detail, but you will be venturing into the tower's field of influence. And so, for your own safety, I would first test how well your blessing shields you, with your permission, of course. In that case, Oriange and I will find a way to make ourselves useful. Seeing as you all work at all the points to collapse, I suspect you could do with more hands. We would be grateful for any assistance you can provide. If you are ready, then let us put the blessing to the proof. If you exit the Great Work and turn south, there will be a hill to the right. I'll meet you there at top after seeing to some preparations. I was about to say drunken Deepa, and all she is this cat. Hope you didn't have any trouble finding this place, or climbing the hill. Though accustomed to the physical strain, I'll give you the fruit of our sweat, tears, and many sleepless nights. The drunken Deepa. A Deepa is a lantern presented to the gods as an offering. Taking inspiration from tradition, we created a device to detect the effects, test the talisman's efficacy. Upon activation, it will move a certain distance before emitting a powerful blast of ether. In lieu of corruption, those lacking sufficient protection will experience severe aether sickness. For your test, you will be exposed 4 times. That should be enough to ascertain your blessing's protective capability. Please begin whenever you're ready. Sorry, I had to rub my eye. Shall be observing from a safe distance. Commencing etheric exposure testing. Repeat. Commencing etheric exposure testing. Retreat to a safe distance if you are not the subject. Is this further back? Oh. You struck by a powerful blast of ether, but suffered no ill effects. Subject has no irrepressible urge to empty their stomach. Confirm. Resuming test. Please follow. Struck by a powerful another blast, but suffered no ill effects. Subject stomach and bowel integrity holding confirmed. Resuming test. Please follow. But the blessing of light keeps me safe. Subject 42 rated. Impressive. No irregularities confirmed. Resuming test. Please follow and brace for final discharge. Struck by the strongest blast of ether yet, but survived completely unscathed. Direct exposure testing concluded. Please collect and deliver to the supervising alchemist. Boom. Congratulations on retaining your composure and your humors. Ah, you've returned, and not on your knees. I promise this time, but come, let me take the deep out of your hands. Thank you. I shall replenish its ether from when we test the talisman. So, no dizziness or nausea or anything of the sort. You're feeling perfectly fine? Mm-hmm. Then the strength of your blessing is beyond doubt. There is no risk that the tower will corrupt your ether. With this, we can request your aid for the task ahead with easy hearts. So you're a capable warrior too, are you not? Would you be amenable to assisting me with another errand? You see, our talisman requires a special ink. We'll exhausted our stores of at least the key ingredient for spirit weed. The herb grows not far from here and I'd like to go and harvest some. But with the recent spate of kidnappings, however, we Aquesadora travel alone at our peril. Will you not come with me as my escort? I would compensate you for your troubles, of course. I mean, you're dead. Without further ado, let's let us head to Castaya's footsteps. Situated road on the east of the Great Works. I may simply be imagining it, but I feel as though we're being followed. Look out, Niren! What? Oh, hostiles. Gods, but that gave me a fright. To think that the moment I ventured out to the safety of the work. I think the sister has asked you to come with me. You're alright, I hope. Mm-hmm. Good, good. Let's continue on then. This is for now. Just through these pillars and up the rise. Ah, and here we are, Gachdaya's footsteps. Gachdaya was a great dancer, and those who follow her in her, well, you know, they come to this place to train and dedicate their dance to their ancestors. A happy benefit to this place is that spirit weed grows here in abundance. I'll set about harvesting at once. If you'd be so good as to stand guard. The kidnappers aren't like to return soon, but better safe than sorry.
Yes, that would be Radzad Khan. Hardly anyone has been allowed in or out since our troubles with the tower began. The faithful citizens huddle inside the city walls, and commerce has all but ground to a standstill. I pity the satrap, the trials he must be facing.
What can you tell me about the satrap?
Well, he is the most important person in Radzad Khan. Long ago, this island was home to two tribes of Matanga, the Gajasura and the Arkasodra. When the Aura came to these shores, it was the Arkasodra with whom they joined forces. Together they defeated the warlike Gajasura, forcing them to flee Thavnair altogether. Peace and prosperity reigned for a time, until a clan of Hjor from the mainland decided they wanted the island for themselves. It was a direct ancestor of the present satrap who arbitrated that conflict and welded the warring factions into the nation we know today. And ever since, a member of that esteemed lineage has inherited this somewhat unique position. You see, by and large, the state is run by the people. But when problems arise, it is the satrap who mediates a solution. The stability provided by the satrap is what has allowed Radzadhan to thrive all these years. And it was the satrap himself who entrusted us with this duty. We will not fail him, nor our countrymen.
What is the delay with the vessel? I told you I need to adjust those ratios.
I come all this way to admire one of my splendid towers, and what do I find? Fools attempting to ward off its tempering influence with magic trinkets. I seem to recall a similar experiment in ages past. What was that man's name? Oh, something. Owen?
Owen Bawa.
Another body, another time. Who could be expected to remember every trivial detail?
Allowing them to construct such handy talismans would be counterproductive to my plans. And yet, I find myself deathly curious. How will they manage this feat with the limited knowledge and resources at their disposal? Complications be damned, for we cannot escape the nature of our souls. And I, as ever, am my own worst enemy.
I have enough spare weed to last us a good while. Thank you for keeping watch. Let's head back to the Great Book, shall we? Nidhana, my thanks again for your assistance. With your help, we're that little bit closer to completing our talisman. This isn't much, please accept it as a token of my gratitude. If you'll excuse me, I shall return to my work on the talisman. Ah, you both are back. Excellent. I have a message for you, Mrs. Nidhana. It would seem the stores of Giant Skull are running low. What? When I last looked, there was still plenty. I suspected that was before Orion J told everyone about their tempering cure, and Destinian shared his knowledge of dragons. Repairs have since been inspired to fashion a number of new 1,000 prototypes. I see. Well, if it leads to new possibilities, then bar fee for me to complain. We will need to replenish our stores. I should be happy to attend to this if you'd like. As I appreciate the offer, my dear boy, I can't in good conscience send you out there alone while the kidnappers are at large. Even though I am to press another task on you so soon, might you go to fetch the giant skull? In any case, if you're not familiar, giant skull is a type of ore found on the island. Owing to its hardness and ethereal conductivity, its applications has many disciplines. Alchemy, not least of all. The quarry where it's found is aptly named Giant Skull's ground isn't far away, so it shouldn't take much of your time. May we impose upon you once more. Thank you. Upon arriving on the grounds, seek out a man named Zanuha, who will furnish you with more ore. At the very least, permit me to accompany you. As so happens, I have an errand of my own that will take me to an outpost nearby. May we borrow a pair of hands, Mrs. Nidhana? By all means, do try to be patient with them. Those that arrived are still in training. I will bring the Hamsa to the entrance. Meet me there when you are ready. Here we are at Hamsa. If the creatures look familiar, it's because they are close to kin to the Eurasian dodos. Hamsa have long been kept as livestock in Thavnair, and many a hatchery may be found here. Alas, the largest of those was recently raised by monsters from the tower. On account of said hatchery being situated near the tower, the radiant host repurposed its remnants as an outpost. That is where my errand takes me, and your own destination is where stones throw away. If you have no objections, let us first make for the outpost. We set forth at your word. You are ready? Then let us depart. You need only ride and relax, and my bird and I will take lead, and yours will follow. Let us be off. If you haven't ridden dodos before, be warned. They have a wobbling gait. That circular formation stretching out over the water is called Kagda, which the sword. The sword legend holds on Matsya against the Murga as for it was cast down in the conflict. To the left of the corner of the construction is the tower. As you can see, it surrounds the small isle. Almost there, though the main part of the hatchery is atop the cliff, the outpost itself is on the beach. And here we are, manned by the radiant host. These outposts are our first line of defense against the tower. Well, well, who should it be but young Varshan, on an errand for the satrap? I am. His Excellency bade me come to collect your report. He also wished to express his heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women of the Radiant Host for their unflagging dedication. We simply do our duty, but we are honor-bound to receive His Excellency's regard. Honored. And yet, his boundless benevolence, his treatment of one so young could be regarded as callous. Though we have enjoyed relative peace and calm these past few days, this remains the front line of battle. No place for children. Your predecessor too often traveled alone. It's been, what, 2 years now since you took over? I wonder how the fellow is faring. Like those before him, he went on to represent the satrap in foreign lands. Whatever he may be now, I am certain he is well. As for myself, I assure you that all I do of my own volition, and gladly, for I do not think ill of His Excellency. Certainly not, lad. Whatever happens, my faith in the satrap is unwavering, but I still worry for you. We all come with sadness if something were to befall you. You are as a little brother to us all. Take care, you hear? I will, Nadine. I thank you. And who might this be? Not tarnished by the look of him. Remains me to introduce Nir and Musafaris of the Orsian contingent, come to assist in the making of the talisman. What do you say? Towers have appeared over there too, yes? Tell me, what's the situation like? May I suggest you exchange information with our soldiers? Both parties would stand to learn something of value, I believe. An excellent idea, given the unprecedented nature of the threat. Some of ours understandably anxious. We'll be glad for any tidings you could share with us. You too, bring Varshan the latest report and answer any questions he may have. I've heard about you, the visitor from Eosia. Is there anything you can tell us about the Telophoroi? No, they're the ones behind the tower, as they declared a war on the whole world. But why are they doing this? What is it that they want? This we don't understand. The leader is Fandaniel. He seeks to destroy everything. What? They want to die and take everyone with them? What madness is this? Well, you can bet that we won't let those bastards have their way. We'll fight with them with everything we have, just like our Eorzean Far Eastern brothers. You wish to know about the tower? To be honest, we know little less about it ourselves. This Tower of Zod, as folk have taken to calling it, suddenly appeared as it did on the Isle of Nidhana. We're safe from its influence at this distance, but go too far into the water and you'll expose yourself to its corrupting ether. You're a foreigner, aren't you? How do they deal with the tower in your homeland? Not good either. Our struggles are not unique. Then our hope still lies with the talismans. We must keep the monsters contained until they are ready. It occurs to me that I've yet to properly introduce our company. We are the Radiant Host, a military order under the Subtype's command. Our duty is to preserve the peace in the land, be it patrolling the streets or dealing with the hitherto unknown threats such as now. We trained hard, and admit only capable warriors in our ranks. Even so, we struggle to contend with the fiends from the tower. Though we succeeded in striking them down on 2 occasions, they came in force. We had to pay a heavy price. What of the towers and yours? Do they likewise spawn monsters? Yeah. So it's much the same everywhere. Every nation struggling, we cannot expect calls for outside aid to be answered. Finished speaking with the soldiers, have you? I hope it was enlightening for you as much for them. As a neutral nation standing and trade hub both, Ratold ordinarily receives a steady stream of news and from abroad. Alas, this stream has dried up, trading vessels stopped coming. Amidst the dearth of information, everyone will be grateful for your account. But come, you had best see to your original errand. As mine will keep me here a while longer, I'm afraid I cannot guide you the rest of the way. Worry not, the path is straightforward. You would follow the road east up upon the Hamsa, you arrive before you know it. Brief though it was, I enjoyed our time together. Till we meet again. Come. Mount the Hamsa. Ba-ba. Ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Fly, you fat chubby chicken, fly. No sooner you arrive at the destination than the hamster dashes off. This is indeed the Giant Skull grounds, and I'm Zanuha. Is there something required? Yeah, Nidhana needs more. Giant Skull for the Alchemists, you say? But of course, they shall have it. They labor tirelessly to deal with the tower, and 'tis the least we can do to provide them with the materials they need. Here you are, stuck at the Peter Giant Skull. No some set aside for Alchemist friends. When you deliver it, let the good folk of the Great Work know that we're grateful for their efforts. They need more, they need but ask. What am I doing? Flying there. Just teleport. Welcome back, Nirin. Did I hope that you have the giant skull? I, in fact, have a sack of it. Oh my, such fine specimens. Thank you for bringing, for so much for bringing these. We now have everything we need to make our next prototype, one that should be capable of passing the most rigorous test. When it is ready, it will be time for a true test, so please, take your ease while you can. Nice.
I see our taskmasters have allowed you a moment's respite as well.
Oh, hey guys.
You have to hand it to these alchemists. They are determined to see this endeavor of theirs succeed. I've never been one for blind optimism, but I sincerely get the sense they're close to a breakthrough.
Sounds like it.
They had better be, or all this effort was for naught.
The peoples of Eorzea, of the Far East, of Thavnair, children of this star united in common cause against a dire threat. Yet ere they succumbed to suicidal madness, were not the Telophoroi born of her body as were we? They who cling to life and the promise of the morrow's dawn, against they who desire death and an ending of their own orchestration. The victors of this war alone will hold the right to answer the question of existence, of its meaning, and its worth.
Poetic and ominous to a fault. That said, if it's an existential debate in nature, then our arguments might not be as persuasive as you'd think. Fandaniel wants to die and take everyone with him in an orgy of pain and suffering. An utterly vile and unforgivable idea. And yet, when spat upon by fate and wailing in the deepest pit of despair, who among us can say they have not entertained similar thoughts? There are nights black as pitch, bereft of hope, and no words of comfort can reach you. And it's all you can do to grit your teeth and choke back the bile.
The more you see and suffer life's injustices, the more difficult they become to bear. Vengeance is nurtured in similar soil. Though your anger has a broader focus, the sentiment is much the same. A fervent desire to destroy others, to see them drown in torment, as you have.
That about sums it up. The will to endure is not always as strong as the urge to burn it all down and salt the earth. Survival be damned. It's a struggle, often close and brutal.
Indeed. Well, I, for one, shall pray survival proveth more appealing in the end.
As will I. Besides, our chances are much improved when we've the company of others committed to the cause of life. Our vengeful dragoon here is proof of that.
Huh?
What is it? What did you see?
I saw Fandaniel.
Fandaniel? Are you sure? If he knows we've been working on a countermeasure.
It holds. The vessel holds! This is the one!
At long last!
Look! We have finally created a talisman strong enough to withstand our experiments! We've named it a warding scale for the time being. With this in your possession, your soul should be completely shielded from corruptive ether.
Afforded such protection, any one of us may approach the towers without fear. Thou hast mine admiration. 'Tis an invention of historical significance.
I thank you for your kind words. But I would prefer you keep them unsaid until we test the talisman's efficacy in the field. It is for the next stage of our plan that we summoned you in the first place, to accompany me to the Tower of Zot. Should the scale prove effective, as I very much hope it will, then you'll have little to do. But should the effect be weaker than anticipated, I must ask that you restrain me, or knock me senseless.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Either way, we are fortunate to have you with us.
Nidhana, are you certain you wish to do this?
If others are to trust our creations, then we must have faith in them first. And as the senior researcher, it falls to me to lead by example. But should I fail to return, then learn what you can from this attempt and apply it to the next. Our work must continue. Is that clear?
We'll keep an eye on the place while you're away. Assuming Fandaniel is lurking about, there's no telling what mischief he has in mind for us, or you. Be on your guard.
Shall we be on our way? I'll have one of the soldiers at the hatchery prepare us a boat, and we can set out from the northern shore. I'll see you there.
Oh boy, okay. This is a rather finer boat than I expected, but I won't complain. All that remains is to board and be on our way. Oh, and I should become corrupted. Do not stay your hand. Oh, of course, I pray it does not come to that, but you must protect yourself. Other alchemists can fulfill my role, but you and your blessing are one of a kind, and perhaps our only hope for toppling this tower. For all our sakes, do not hesitate to do what must be done, whatever that may be. Well, the longer I draw this out, the more nervous I become. Let us be off.
We should soon cross the threshold of the tower's influence.
Do.
Any moment now. It's working! And you are still yourself? Then I'd like to see how it fares closer to the tower if we could.
Alright.
So far, so good. The scale's protection appears to be holding. If we can just make it to the tower's entrance. A few more steps. Praise be to the sisters, we made it! And the scale has proven itself to be everything we hoped it would be. Now we can focus on production. Once we've equipped and returned with an entire survey team, this menace will soon give up its secrets. What?
Uh-oh. Oh, no, you don't. Where is she? Where is she? Nidhana.
Oh, let me go! Oh, let me go! Oh!
Oh, do calm down. You'll only hurt yourself thrashing about like that.
Stop! Oh, you can't do this! Please!
No.
A little late for heroics, I'm afraid. The similarities are striking. My! Such hostility! Never before has my artistry so displeased. My patrons of old would have positively squealed in delight, though, between you and me, I find gushing praise exhausting.
Patrons of old? What do you mean? I need that.
Allow me to tell you a story. Surely you've yet to hear the one about Fandaniel, the sundered Ascian. I inherited the position and the soul of the Fandaniel who sat on the convocation in the time of the final days, theoretically speaking. Practically speaking, that fact is of no consequence. I was born and lived as, well, me. Eventually, I was recruited into the Scions and imbued with the former Fandaniel's knowledge and memories, but I never felt that they were truly a part of who I am. How to explain? Perhaps if I told you who I was before my Ascian embrace, although that chapter too is a past I've long since discarded. I have it on good authority. You've poked your nose into an Allegan ruin or two. Yes? Then I expect you've heard of me. The old me.
The hell are you talking?
At your service. Imagine a nation of unbridled prosperity. Every need met. Day after day of unbroken, unshakable peace. Existence fulfilled and ripe for decay.
You are a genius without peer, Amon. However do you conceive of such delightful experiments? That fool was beside himself with panic when he awoke with the head of a bull. Even his cries for help emerged as so much guttural lowing. Oh, the memory of it. My poor sides. My friends and I were so consumed by laughter we struggled to breathe.
No more than entertainment for bored wastrels ignorant of its worth. My all-consuming work. But it was not their only indulgence. For they were ever hungry for stimulation. Slaves to the slightest hint that amusement was afoot. Our nation was ailing, but I would see the poison purged. I resurrected a legend, our first and greatest emperor.
Like, Garleans are bad?
And just as I had planned, he set our wayward empire back on the path of conquest.
Allegans were way
An
worse.
inexhaustible ambition carried us onwards. Always onwards. Yet, he who delivered to us such glory was not to be satisfied.
Heed me, Amon. No matter how vast one's empire, or full one's treasure vault, all is rendered meaningless by death. In the end, all is lost.
You know as well as I that the Emperor stands to lose this war, and so I have come to claim you. For while your methods leave something to be desired, we cannot deny the results of your work. And as fortune would have it, the seat of Fandaniel, your rightful seat, lies vacant and waiting. Take your place amongst your peers, rather than die a pointless death amidst the ashes of your doomed nation. Send one of your clones to the Crystal Tower that you might see for yourself. See what lies ahead.
The fall of the Empire affirmed the truth. Majestic and tragic, as the Emperor foresaw. Scheme as you like, build as you will, nothing endures. What is life but a brief jaunt ending in emptiness?
Fandaniel, where are you?
So easily distracted. Why, I almost left without saying farewell. As for your friend, you needn't worry. These pawns are far more useful to me alive as fuel for the primals. If you attempt to pull them free, they will die. So, enjoy tackling that conundrum with your comrades. We shall meet again! Not in one of these minor spires, oh no, but somewhere more suitably grandiose. Your favorite playmate is ever so eager to see you.
I'll be back for you, okay? Just hold tight. Damn it. Ah, you returned, but where is Mistress Nidhana? Unfortunately, she's been captured by the tower. Matsya preserve. Just when we have succeeded in making the talisman, I must report this at once. Meanwhile, please return to the great work. Something's gone awry, hasn't it? What happened? Nidhana's been captured by Fandaniel. So was Fandaniel after all. Damn that bastard. Sure you wanted to do more, but you're right to return here first. Let's tread warily lest we endanger Nidhana and the other captives. First, we must inform everyone of the situation, Nidhana's colleagues included. I'll call them all together for the gathering, but I think it would be best if you were the one to explain. Oh, Nidhana. Can you answer me this? Though Nidhana is trapped in the tower, she is still alive, yes? Yeah. Then we must go and make the warding scales, as many as we can. The prototype works perfectly. This Nidhana proved that Pero to herself. So let us make more scales. She and all those who were taken might be saved. I realized something. Nidhana was captured, but Fandaniel had taken the talisman, so she's no longer under the protection of being tempered, which would mean that the inside of the tower is safe. It's the outside you gotta deal with. Aye, as alchemists, this is how we will help win the fight. My friends, the Subtype has been made aware of the tragedy. He offers his heartfelt condolences and reiterates his pledge to provide you with all that you require. To that end, he begged you give me this link pearl that he might personally discuss the production of the warding scales with you. As for our Eorzean visitors, I bear an invitation. In her report, Mistress Nidhana noted your vital contributions to the talisman's creation. The fact came to the Satrap's attention and in recognition of your deeds, he wishes to meet you. In addition to thanking you personally, we also would discuss further avenues of collaboration. And so, if it is agreeable, will you not accompany me to Razat Han for an audience with His Excellency? We should be honored, of course. Closer cooperation between our lands can only be the benefit of all. Then it is settled. Please come to the gates of Giant's Called Grounds and I will show you to the city. This is why I also think that starting at Routes at Han first, it gives like time as you do the one for Sharlayan to have the talismans in production. All present, then let us proceed. Owing the start of the tower, the city is currently in a state of high alert, and strict restrictions are in place for entry. Though you've been granted special permission, I ask that you remain close to me at all times.
A vast rock squats upon Thavnair, and to its stony surface clings the city of Rods at Han. Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye. The orb which beholdeth the truth of all things. Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like a second midday sun. The fragrant haze, a mixture of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented by dancers' feet. Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets. But no such scenes to savor now. To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
Remember the squapes.
Here we are. Megadota. It seems a shame to bring you here directly. Under normal circumstances, it would have been my pleasure to show you the sights.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, it seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
I'm afraid so. Come, we should head inside. Your Excellency, may I present our honored visitors?
Ah, splendid. Most splendid. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ahawan, Satrap of Radzatan. Our alchemists tell me your assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale. Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude.
Well, you know, not everything went to plan.
I assume you speak of Nidhana. A regrettable incident indeed. Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the talisman, that it will be instrumental in saving Nidhana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony. Come, sit.
I think not. This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps? There are no performers waiting in the wings at present, but arrangements could be made if you'd prefer.
Nay, he hath the right of it. The time for artifice is past. Raise the curtain.
As you wish.
You travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me. Even here have we heard of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. And for years uncounted hath this isle served as mine abode.
Vritra, of the first brood, sibling to Hraesvelga and Nidhogg.
And Tiamat, and Bahamut, and Ashdaya, and Ratatoskr.
Aye, mine elder brothers, of Midgardsormr's spawn. I was last to hatch.
Well, isn't this a surprise? We were told Radzatan had an alliance with the dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the satrap's own hall.
A necessary subterfuge, as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively. In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone. In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. But never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to arrive with the Aura, adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, they too treated Vitra with reverence and respect. And for many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured. Until marauding heroes from the mainland came, threatening to shatter our peace and tranquility, when it seemed all would be drowned in blood. Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict. A peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow into Radzatan.
But if Vritra is still here, then your position as satrap is just...
a charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
Many envy the Great Worms their power. Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end. I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who join me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
Your eye. It was taken.
"'Tis here, buried within the semblance of flesh. The body before thee is but a simulacrum, constructed by the finest artisans of Razathan. With mine eye nestled within, it doth serve as an inconspicuous vessel for my will."
That would explain why I felt the presence of a dragon upon our first meeting.
I am woven with words fashioned to deceive such arcane senses. Though 'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered. Estinian warm blood. From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another. Yet did neither one of us bare his fangs. That is all I need know of thee for now.
With my secret thus revealed, I have for you a proposal. Not as a worm of the first brood, but as the ruler of Rhodes. With all haste must we take in hand the finished talismans and breach this foul spire. Thence, should it lay within our power, dispel its wicked influence. Yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower doth limit the size of our force.
And thus denied strength in numbers, thou must choose thy soldiers with care.
Just so. Yet though our radiant host is formidable, I see a surer path before me. Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, thou didst cast down false gods in Pagalthan and Cartanau, I am told. 'Tis upon that strength I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear. Talismans would, of course, be provided for each of thy companions, and should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
There's no denying it's a dangerous proposition, but the rewards may far outweigh the risk. Just think of what we might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales. I worry, however, that even the four of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling task that I have laid before you. Go. Steel your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in crafting your protective charms.
It seems a quick trip back to Sharlayan is in order.
Later.
Wilt thou not lend thine aid?
Whether your request be made as a great worm, or the ruler of Radzathan, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
I am in thy debt.
That meeting took a rather unexpected turn, but now we have a clear objective ahead of us. Let's rejoin our comrades in Sharlayan and muster a suitable crew for our foray into the Tower of Thought. And if you haven't already done so, be sure to attune to the Aether right before departing. Unless, of course, you enjoy the violent nausea. This is used to the balmy Thavnair. We're back in chilly Sharlayan. Take care to not catch your death, eh? We need you for the battles to come. Now then, your investigation remains, but when that's over, we can take stock of the development and discoveries. And that'll give them time to work on the talismans for us. Unsettling changes come over Sharlayan, but together we will divine the underlying cause for the form's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the councils directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Which is why I began scouring Sharlayan archives and historical records for any hint of connection to the final days. Suffice to say, progress has been slow. Only so many dusty tomes one can skim in a day. Dusty pages. Now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let's reconvene outside Numenor, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Numenor, Sharlayan's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only the entrance, and one of the many at that, for the archives of Numenor extend deep beneath the surface like roots of a tree. The vast halls of the great Gubal Library pale in comparison to Numenor's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Sharlayan is free to enter and peruse its shelves, well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. Dispatch Yustola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alize Alphano will help me continue my search for the stacks open to the general public. Your status presence is more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you're only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Sharlayan history and foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of the subjects will make it easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let's be about, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they've done found some promising tomes. Happy reading! A brightly colored book. Long, long ago, on an island in the Northern Sea, there lived a rogue man by the name of Njungkrumf. Nunkref was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived. Someone's calling me. That's a scam. And the horror, strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Nunkref's crew hauled him aboard his harg, but the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Nunkref wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safely atop Abalothia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled alongside them. It was not long before disputes over a dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Nunkref gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers and abandoned the Ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast, where they built a new ship, intent on returning to the northern seas. They landed on a beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time became known as the city of Sharlayan we lived in this day. A red-covered book. Many years ago, on the banks of Thalyak on the Dravanian hinterlands, a Sharlayan colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in 1311 on the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and the demands encouraged gradual expansion in the structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with the Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlayans. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Sharlayan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Sharlayan, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned on the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants pressed for a name which simply referred to it as Emporium. Following the Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Edelshire. Following chapter goes into the most prominent features of Edelshire, the book does not contain information about Sharlayan. Introduction to the Heavens. Every gaze the skies to contemplate the mystic. Well, I don't think this book is. Yeah, no. I'm gonna be a little time constrained here. Forever 20 summers. No. With the wisdom. During the chaos of the Sixth Summer Calamity, Archon Nunkref, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness of savagery of men brought upon the brink of despair. Upon raising the settlement on an island to the north empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. Sharlayans took to heart the words of the Savior and thenceforth stood the stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born of strength of mind rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. With engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth of coin. And the more wisdom throughout the world, the more mankind would thrive as a whole. So no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, this is a shine by the founder's teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war. With knowledge they would deliver the world. I am missing a tomb then. Ah, there we go. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Excelsior, a public forum which every citizen was eligible to speak. The city's population grew, however, became more impractical. Larger numbers gave rise to longer debates, but in year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, somebody decreed that Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. They were led by a body of 99 members. Why 99? Because if it was 100, they'd still be split 50-50. Citizens chosen from amongst their peers to be nationwide vote. As the form as we know it today was conceived and created. Excellent. I am now smarter. Ooh, someone's got to wind up Race Vulgar. Sorry, were you waiting long? I wanted to make sure I borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Fandaniel and Kriles should be along shortly. I was delayed in a similar fashion. As far as I could see, no tiles in the Archon stacks mention the final day specifically, so you have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes, if they are even that. At the present, it is plain to skim through as quickly as we dare, and we share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate, plenty of comfortable places to read, and a supply hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult after our arrival. We managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. Oh. Seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even Alphino and I were to return to Sharlayan, we'd not be allowed to cross the threshold. A harsh measure indeed. Hope that our efforts to understand his position and that of the form will perhaps lead to reconciliation. We'll mend the rift one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family, or do they not live here in the city? Ah, yes, my situation is somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Ilsabad, in fact. For generations my people have dwelt in Kovos, coastal region opposite the island of Thavnair. The Elegants found the city in that fertile land, and by ship brought the subjugated tribes of Makote to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought the end to the Empire's reign, and when the Fifth Calamity froze the seas, many of the tribes still living in Kovos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Allagan technology from being misused. Isn't Kovos under Garlean rule? For the past 50 years, yes, some semblance of local culture remains, as the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald renamed the legion Locus Amonos. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of the illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. Yeah, I know about them. They were always odd. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in elegant civilization, so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices have been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allagan I no longer could pass to our eldest children as reliably as I once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Allag. As the last child born with the Allagan I was given over the custody of a friend and the students of Aldessian, who had me registered as a Sharlayan citizen. Never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louis Swall, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlayans than you might think. Yet regardless of our origins, we are all provided an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. This is exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which the citizens can be proud. Here, another good reason to get to the bottom of the foreign stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway in these books, Niren. More company should be arriving any moment now. Ah, we've returned with our selections. Although I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Kriles has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm only one here who didn't witness the events of Armrot firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. Sure. My thanks. Now, where to begin? First things first, what kind of phenomenon did the ancients encounter as the days drew nigh? The worst kind of phenomena you can imagine. I'll be right back. I gotta use the restroom. But I know it's a complete destabilization of creation magics. Alright, I'm back. A complete destabilization of creation magics. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought all havoc in manner of life. Chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing the powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion, meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. more or less aligns with my understandings. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. He still surmises the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Scions. Was there aught else which heralded the approach of the final days? Oh, no, you can answer this one. They say it began with a keening sound from the land itself. Ah, yes, the Almarantines spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear the sound ourselves, of course, just as we were in the midst of madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophe was preceded by an ominous noise. Eventually it resounded all across the star, and not even Almar was spared. So, the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll just speak with one of Numenon's members and ask after many books with mention of such sound. Last but not least, how would you describe that the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? They knocked Dalamud from the sky. They summoned Zodiark. Frank! Cat with his zoomies. Yes, with the livis serving us as heart. So many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. You don't know exactly how Zodiac brought salvation to the star, only that his godlike will with the laws of nature set it right. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Life sprout anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intend to render unto Zodiac, a trade that would allow them to resurrect the shades of loved ones sold by the primal. Or might have, had Vana and her followers not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now that my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Thalafroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. It's forcing people to summon primals, a kind of catalyst. Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech? A convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? However, this is all pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return to our attention to the form, shall we? We shall keep an eye out for your Stola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. Oh man. I want to study. Studying's for nerds. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced one or two possibly useful books, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Orion J. learned of the source's reflections from the Geirun oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, the tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Gulwal Library. It is even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on any shelf for any curious scholar to find. Stands to reason then that my colleagues, be they Archons or Counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when confronted Master Fulchino with knowledge of the Thalafroi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the foreign would know if the final days were truly upon us, which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the form's behavior is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, the book could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Oh. Yes, Mom. You labor for what feels like ages, for like an age, as you still as research assistant. Oh, oh dear, you look exhausted. What about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subject I mentioned? A couple. The day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a mammoth at the reference will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. You might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Oh, ready for tea break, Naren? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I won't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know, last stand down by the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near outside tables and I'll treat you to coffee. It's quite good. Do 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 do. I was about to say, what sword is that? But it is merely my sword. Simply dyed a different color. Wait a second, how do you get his blue? Ah, it's the amazing version. His is blue by default. But the problem is it also glows. Mine is the standard version. As soon as it changes its name, which does not glow. I'd say he's a paladin, but he's like more like a holy dark knight. I am a dark knight. But I'm eager to get back into being a paladin again. But we'll do that soon, because I have special outfits in plan. Special outfits in 8, 9, and 10. As busy as ever, I see. However, Sharlayan that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? Which is to hear what the average citizen has to say about Thalofroi. Might even learn something new. With a try, don't you think? I'll say it's now company now. Excuse me, sir, Mr. Parodier. What? What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? Looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew the Thalofroi. These enemies of peace promised to end the world we all fear and... Wait, you're the house levier girl, aren't you? And this man with you is obviously a foreigner. Heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge the barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've not else to say the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect the nonsense civility from one so enlightened. Come, Naren. Yeah, screw you, dude. Is this your tea? Just knock it over. Oops. Come on, Alize. This time we'll surround someone. Yes, I don't believe I had the pleasure. I pray excuse the interruption, but I was hoping you might share your thoughts on the Thalofroi and their unscrupulous plans. Unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Livier. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the forum. Word reached Master Potional that I was helping you. Ah, I see. Well, sorry to bother you. Hey, Dick. On. His brother's name is Strap. On. Welcome, sir. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mr. Salazar I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the last stand. He's to frequent his cafe on occasion, between lessons to study him. Seems like an age now. I remember. I felt the sneeze coming on. I remember hearing that you, Master Alphino, set sail for Eorzea but never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything alright at home? It's complicated, and I had not expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has opinion, it seems. Well, it is House of Vieux, no matter how discreet Master Fulchinor may have been. News of your family's doings never stay secret for long. Things being the way they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times? Your questions only Sharlayan has the answers. Tell me, Master Tikkun, have you heard anything about the apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that. I'm afraid, and what's we're here to find? Information of this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. Maybe there is. You're a visitor, Sharlayan, are you? As a matter of fact, yes I am. Sorry, I was looking for my water. And if you will know your face, you should be able to pass off as a server with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders, strike up some friendly conversations while you're sitting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea, I hate to ask, but what do you think? I think it's a great idea. That's the spirit. Pay attention now and I'll explain each of these dishes needs to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelette is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla. She's sitting on the outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them you should see Makoto gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that. If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. What's that to say? What armor does that guy have? No armor. I guess you guys want the tea set. A tea set for you. Oh my, tea set. Lovely, thank you. The Talafahu, I'm sorry, never heard of them all the Final Days. Friends are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you want to hear about the ritual arcane practices of the 6th Astral Era, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. No, it's fine, thank you. Oh, psh. That's for him being a dick. For you, the omelette. Ah, finally, 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste. Do you know about the Thalfaroy of the Final Days? You hear anything about them? What? The Thalfaroy? Ah, yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. Oh, the fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood. Best to stay out of it. I say, the Forum made the right choice, and I fully support the decision to remain neutral. For you, sir. Urbane banter with a smile. The lobster bisque. At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I waited to skimmed and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. Final Days. This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. Must be a busy time to be a gleaner. A gleaner? Huh, you don't know what a gleaner is? The collector of some sort. over the world procuring things they haven't got here in Sharlayan. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, and so forth. So named for the folk who trail after reapers in the fields, picking up every grain that was missed. By all accounts, gleaning is the most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Talafar make good on their audacious threats, then maybe the many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. What else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor and you'll see what I mean. They're cutting loads in the front docks all day. Never been this hectic before. Not like this. Interesting. Very interesting. In trouble with the customers, were you able to get anyone talking? One in fact, mentioning the gleaners. Interesting. They seem to be unaware of the final days, aside from whatever the vague news the Gazettes are printing. Even Digon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the force does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job ensuring no one whispers in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised. Damn it, now I want some coffee. But I'm going to stop when it's lunchtime. Let's enjoy our drink somewhere else, shall we? In about 30 minutes. Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossipers and wagging tongues. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of wind and out of sight.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Grahas said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently. They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
Level what?
A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
We should tell the others what we learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead to Numenon, I'll join you in a moment. Master Tickon will still want his cups back. That's a very blue bunny. Blue Nui. Well, a lot of people are gathered here. I would assume some people are wrapping stuff up, getting ready for DawnTrail. Welcome back, Naren. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. Blah, blah, blah. So, it turns out they're bringing more and more cargo in. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from the institutions and the bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and insignificant increase in Gleaner traffic and cargo certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let's see what theory we can build from the facts. As Shistola observed earlier, Numenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Niran and Alice said at the last stand, we can reasonably be sure that most Sharlayans know nothing of the particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but yet also somehow certain that destruction being perpetrated by the Telophoroi is wholly unlike those apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by duty of suppressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I think it a stretch to conclude the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves. And if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. Anything would... Oh no, dang it. Hey, what should we expect down there? Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I will see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be great. Thank you, Vraha. Let's head down the stairs over there and I'll show you where the entrance is. Oh great, I got the hiccups. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. I hate how you can't follow. Off we go then. Oh boy, it's an escort. She's moving. It's buzzing here amongst the trees. She's moving slower than I can walk. Now we run. Try to keep up. See, this is better. Keep to the path straight ahead. We cross this bridge. Closing the gap on you, Alize. Oh, you stopped. Up here. The rostra, not far now. Hey, my local time and the Eorzean time are almost matching. And now it is. Here we are, through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier and you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Okay, like, I know everyone's got their fancy, like, scholarly outfit, but the Chocobo Keep gets to keep their, like, hat, but I'm really disappointed the coat isn't yellow. Well, here now, yes. I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone onto the lift, and down we go.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Wow.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago.
at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh or no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Ugh.
You okay?
Did you call to me just now?
No.
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
That was weird. Not as weird as an entire environment underground. Dobbin? Dobbin, do you have a moment, Dobbin? Dobbin, I must ask you a question, Dobbin. You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and ore and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. That's what Dobbin does. Dobbin is a free person. Ridiculous though, they take stock in never rentless, you know, sort and tidy up the inventory. I've seen an operation like this before though. They did one a few summers ago, even though with no warning at all. This must get dumped on all ups. Orders from on high. They're in to find no other reason. Could it be they're exchanging the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion. That's what Dobbin does. Thief. Let me think. The rain seeds need to be item 1058. Cumin seeds 1059. Stowaway 1060. What were they 1061? Ugh, my head feels like it's stuffed with Mako grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? What if all these needs at once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Corthan carrots for the Kiribati carrots? What then? Okay. Another Vieran. This one with the unique hair like mine. It seems he is too a dual shader. But his hair is more neatly kept while mine is growing over. You are here to help or give more headaches? Because you don't have the look of a gleaner and I'm in no... that'd be funny if I was wearing the gleaner outfit. And I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Any luck, Naren? What tales do the gleaners have to tell? From a person who can't tell carrots apart, marmots, and Dobbin. Dobbin, he's a free person. So the grand operation began without warning, and every item they would bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. I'll explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right, the form is definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. We do have to learn more what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who tasked them to do it. If you're game near and I have an idea. What's the idea? Did one of those Gleaners mention that something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined to a more friendly and enlightening conversation? Sounds like a plan. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this Gleaner here. Compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting! Hehe. So, you need help with those marmots? You wish to help me find the marmots? Nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. The name is Ehrenfeld, friend, specialist in collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Nexian marmots is a trial I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For our mercy, there are no other marmot species of this tier present, so there should be no mistaking our loots of fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in the sack, gently of course. Where to begin, you wonder? I'm not seeing any scampering around here, so we need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Be on your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on you, or prey on a marmot, or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. Let's see if I can see where I can see a marmot to be. It's a hunting coyote. Uh-oh. Come here, you. Gypsy! Barely have you ready to sack when the grizzled mouse scampers off into the underbrush. Let's see. There you are. Yeah. Well, you're a big boy, but you fall like all the rest. Come here, you. Ah! The rodent nimbly evades your grasp before disappearing into the trees. Aha! Not so fast. Cornered now, rat. More prepared for its speed this time. Just gonna over your elusive quarry. How did you fare? I tracked down 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. Oh my freaking god. Ah, there's the odd marmot out. Wait here a moment while I put our friends in a holding cage. Thankfully, the marmots seem unharmed. They've held up in isolation, but it's too much soon to release them into their habitat. It's a good thing they were able to recapture them so swiftly. You'll have my thanks. Who tasked you with capturing them in the first place? Why, the authority in charge of Labyrinthos, now in perpetuity. The same officials who have us working day and night of late. Honorable members of the Forum. Who else? Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. Those are the conditions I was given to stock once I was instructed to procure. Don't know what the form is planned for these creatures, but at the very least I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. There, I said that. There you are, Nyan. Is this the cleaner you mentioned, the one who was looking for lost marmots? Ah, interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I'm Kriles, the students of Aldessian. The others are my associates. Truth be told, the forum's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That's why we made the descent into Labyrinthos. We hope that by seeing the decisions put into action, we might fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls. Other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry I can't offer you more for your services. Did you learn anything new from your friend there? As a matter of fact, yeah. So, we confirm that the order of this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I'd say that fits with everything we've heard thus far. We also discovered when the operation began, the Forum contacted the Gleaners Guild ship and put their people to great work some 4 days after Thalofra made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners kept abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus I'm inclined to trust that the calendar of events is accurate. Although, it gives a distinct impression that this undertaking was sudden and a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making, but they were waiting for the right time to put it in effect. And the Thalofroy's declaration was what set it in motion? Seems likely, but let's not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Acheron? From there we can reach the lower... Kriles, what's wrong? I'm fine, truly. The descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing will stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it then. At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I can remember the way to Acheron. We follow the path east through the forest where you were chasing that mouse, or marmot was it? Anyway, 'tis the trolls you need to watch out for. I could have just teleported here, I forgot. Behold the Acheron, the Archaeon. As Numenon serves as Sharlayan's literary archive, so does this structure house the city's wealth of material data. The architecture, too, is similar. The building receives merely the upper entrance, and access points to the vaults are carved in the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as the detailed records which describe them. Matter of speaking, the Archaeon contains physical history of Sharlayan's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Well, we won't learn anything of value standing out here. Let us proceed into the main building and speak with the custodian. As I praise it for being daytime, now it has shifted to nighttime. Oh man, I love that game. Five Nights at Fay's Bros. Greetings, we are here to peruse Alcan's vaults. Peruse? You're clearly not gleaners then. Might I ask your affiliation? We belong to the students of Aldessians, but is that relevant? I was given to believe the vaults, those open to the public at least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case, but at present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved in the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. Not us, then. I suppose we had better move along to another facility. This building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Will we at least make use of that? That service has also been suspended, I'm afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. Wait, so this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation has concluded. By that time, it would be too late. We were so close to getting answers. We need to rethink our approach. Let us step outside a moment, shall we? Students of Baldessian. My father, a member of the Forum, shall hear about this. We are at an impasse, and we have no further leads. I should like to peruse this one further. But I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. Seek another means to access the lower levels. It is likely the people in this area are involved in restructuring in one way or another. If we were to ingratiate ourselves, they may allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let us ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load. Shushatabi. Am I taking the lift? Oh, no. Oh, that's a woman. Am I taking the lift? Oh, no, we're just students. They won't let us onto the Arcan, even though we found... Actually, we had no idea what it is we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere. We were wandering around Tranquility, and so we thought to donate it to the vaults. Well, squeal, squeal. Honest little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until the arcade is open again. What? Laboratories, but before the student, they were just unfound we are. What the hell? Did they capture a Porksy? Ooh. Ooh, I like her top. I don't know what kind of top that is. Oh, he's wearing it too. Oh, it looks better on the girls. What's that? Take you down lift with me? Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day and I've only finally spent a moment to rest. I did see a gleaner fellow heading to the gates, shouldering a large pack, engaged in some minor task. Maybe he'll be headed down when he's done, whatever it is he's doing. Oh, well, we meet again, my Vieran brother. Quiet, you'll frighten it away. Ah, it's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The cloudkin I need to capture is close, very close. Perhaps I can help you. Huh, you wish to help me with this too. You spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still, 2 hunters are generally better than 1. Very well. The canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds, but the one I'm after today is the hornbill. Its feathers are green and a distinctive call. Single it out, shoot it with a sleeping dart. The effects are short-lived, so I'll lie in wait down by the river to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. Right, target the shoebill. I mean, the hornbill. Okay, there it is, because it's a large green bird. Whack whack. Objective failed is the wrong bird selected. Oh, I kind of want to see what happens if the objective fails. No, I don't have time. I missed. I missed again. Got him. Fired. I missed. I fired. I missed again. Yeah, I had a popsicle. I fell asleep. I woke up. I fired again. I missed. That bird is drowning in the water. Oh, okay, maybe not. Got it. Haha.
Fair shot. Nicely done. Let me truss this one up and I'll make my way over to you.
There you are. Any new revelations?
I went bird hunting.
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a cleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated
could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species, too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion, then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will, of course, follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed.
It's like,
Pray
oh
for
my
the
fucking
Hesed.
god.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome, but consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
I'm gonna wrap up this quest. is what I would say, but we gotta go down. This must be it, the entrance to the mine shaft. It's strange, but I hear something move within. Creatures home there by researchers, you think? Well, slavering beast aside, we will need to watch our footing. We're tying our straps and such before we continue. Assuming everyone's tying their straps and checked their gear, then I say we head on in. Given the terrain ahead, though, it might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We'll meet up again on the other end of the tunnel. Mushrooms with frog legs. Madness in my fantasy game. Oh, what am I doing? I can fly. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident. Nothing of consequence, at least. As promised, the tunnel delivered us into the medial circuit. As I recall, this tier is where they keep a variety of samples for agriculture production. Maribel's assumption holds true. The specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration. We should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. Oh, I should probably prep this in advance. I'm gonna go with this one. Remember the squapes. Remember the squapes. Remember the squapes. Aha! Now I know where you are. This is Moral Agronomics. Labyrinth is home to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And with this facility, which coordinates and oversees those efforts, these fruits of their research go to feed Labyrinth's colleagues, so I hear. More notable success might might make it to the Agora. Food so exotic you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone how might they taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. I see no Gleaners hereabouts, yet the workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. Is it possible they know something of the Forum's plans and their underlying motivations? Worth looking into, wouldn't you say? See what you can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same for the cast about the useful clues. Oh, hello, we weren't expecting visitors. Not with the use of lift being restricted. How did you make it down here anyway? I went through a secret path. The mine shafts, you say? Well, you're much hardier than a soul than I. Milgram Suckus I'd reward tenacity with the guy that toured the fields, but I'm afraid the Forum has us filling out lists them all long. Massive yet detailed requests, literal wagon loads of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. If I was head of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around old stock to make room for new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seeds we've already thoroughly researched. That's strange, eh? Pressed for the explanation, it was met with vague assurances that all will be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. Do you have aught to be taken down below? Well, I can carry and then some. Most of our stock is sent off by the cargo lift. It seems to have been earmarked for aerial transport, hence the stack of crates atop the hill over there. Car's hauling a lot to total job and a half. Uh-oh. I just looked over, my Twitch chat was closed, so I don't know what was just said. Uno momento. What crops are we raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grape. We used to have square ones. Only needs good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising. And now Twitch doesn't want to work. Hardly surprising, given that it's the native, particular local locale upon which Labyrinthos was modeled. A region in the south of the land of Isabad. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, belonging for a myriad of land. It did not show the... Oh, never mind, it's a bot. What do I care? To the peaks of the north, you saw the temperate plains, in which transition turns a hot human coastal line. Such bountiful territories, ever contested as you might expect, used to be called Corvos before the Imperials renamed it Locus of Menos. Forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a research's ideal environment, one whose climate we strove to recreate within the confines of Labyrinthos, since providing a rich foundation for countless experiments and cultivation. Okay, still store the contents. Bundles of common seeds, saplings accompanied by sheaves of reports. Huh? What are these?
Hard to look away, isn't it? But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion.
Huh?
You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Sharlayan at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Have you learned aught of interest?
I learned about these flowers.
A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we've failed to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenvil's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the Archaean? Look, there. I think that's Erenvil.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenvil receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenvil's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all... Kriles? Yes, that certainly sounds like a plan. I'm glad you agree.
Man, he is walking slow.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
Almost. I can almost reach you.
Kriles still feeling unwell. I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We cannot let our quarry slip away. Alright, but I'm going to call it here for now. Gonna go eat some lunch, then come back and resume streaming. So, see you guys soon.